咁我哋今日即係都好慶幸可以邀請到 Hedgemony 嘅。Are you the founder or just the developer of Hedgemony? You're the founder, right?
Both the founder and the developer.
Oh, nice. 咁我哋今日好榮幸可以邀請到即係Hedgemony 嘅創辦人啦。咁就今日佢會嚟分享關於佢嘅項目啊，同埋就係嚟緊佢哋一啲嘅 update 咁樣嘅。So how about you can just introduce about yourself first, and then why how you come up with the idea of Hedgemony, and then how you start with your quant journey. Yeah.
Okay. So hi everybody. Thank you all for joining. So basically, here's how I came up with the idea. I was holding crypto, and it was back in February after Trump became president. And I'd wake up and I'd check my portfolio and I would see, oh, my Solana is down 2 or 3% in the last 5 minutes. This is weird because, why is Solana dropping so fast in such little time? And then I started noticing a pattern. Sometimes the prices of crypto drop suddenly, and it's correlated. I see the news later on TV a few hours later, like, oh, Trump just announced tariffs, or this just happened in the world. So I said, why not just automate all of it? So that's how the journey began. I started building the product, started out with just a few sources. Now we're at over, 2,500 sources. And in June, I went to Y Combinator in San Francisco, and that's where I got to meet a lot of my idols. Elon Musk was there, Sam Altman, Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, etc. And basically, I became inspired to take this idea and not just use my own money and manage my own money, but scale it up into a vertical hedge fund to really each consumer at the top of their phones. So that's how it started. And then at Y Combinator, I met Believe App in person, and they said, "Oh, hey, you wanna raise the seed round with investors? Before that, you should launch a token, and you can launch through us. We'll give you a grant, and after that, people are gonna go. You're gonna have a market cap. You're gonna make money from fees." And then you can go to investors when you raise the seed round, and you're going to have a higher valuation. So I was like, okay, sure, why not? So that's when I built the terminal, so that you can see all the, news signals, buy, sell signals, etc. And yeah, after that, started working on making the trading automated, available for everybody. And here we are now. We're scraping close to 3,000 sources. We're trying to remove the friction of the time it takes for the information to arrive in Bloomberg terminal, because it takes, sometimes a full minute. When Iran got bombed, we found out about the bombs arriving a full minute earlier than it appeared in my Bloomberg terminal, because we go straight to the source, so we remove the friction. Sometimes we're the same speed as Bloomberg terminal, sometimes the full minute faster. It depends. That's part one. Scraping directly the sources, the local media, instead of relying always on big hitters like Bloomberg terminal, etc., Reuters. The second part of the IP is the fact that, let's pretend we have the sources, the news, at the same speed as everybody else. We're still faster because our AI sentiment analysis workflow, it takes on average 1.2 seconds to complete and execute a position. So we're faster even if we have the same information. Anyways, so now it's just a matter of fine-tuning the accuracy to be as close as it can to 100%. And that's what we're working on with V2. So yeah, that's a bit of background of how it all got started, how it's evolved, and what it does.
Thanks, Shrimper. I think I will just quickly make a short conclusion about what you just introduced in Cantonese. Yeah, so I'll just translate a bit。頭先都Shrimper 即係Hedgemony 嘅 founder 都即係創辦人佢都介紹咗佢點樣開始個項目啦。咁其實佢哋原先就喺Y Combinator 即係喺美國一個好出名嘅一個初創嘅孵化器啦，咁就係開始咗先嘅。咁就係佢喺YC 入面咧，就認識咗 Believe 嘅創辦啦，應該就係阿 Ben 啦，係啦。然之後就佢哋就嗰陣時就喺 YC 嗰度咧，就 raise 咗一輪種子輪嘅，係啦。咁佢哋 raise 錢啦，咁就咁嗰陣時就點解佢哋會 launch 咗自己個代幣咧？就係因為嗰陣時就即係Believe 嗰邊都有一啲嘅 incentive 啦，即係都俾咗啲 ground Shrimper 係去開始呢個項目啦。咁有咗呢一個嘅種子基金，同埋就係有呢一個嘅grant 咁開始咗項目啦。然之後就開始咗發咗佢項目嘅代幣喺 Believe 生態入面啦。係啦，咁所以就係咁樣開始啦。咁而佢頭先都講過咧 ，Hedgemony 最主要就係點解會inspire 咗佢去做呢個項目咧？就係因為佢話有一日瞓醒，然之後見到啲 Solana 跌咗幾個 percent，which is compared to 前嗰兩日嘅 disaster， 我諗應該係冇得比啦。咁但係佢話跌咗幾個 percent 已經唔係好接受到啦。咁所以佢就選擇要做 Hedgemony 啦，即係想做一啲portfolio 去對沖一啲可能即時會發生到會影響到市場上嘅一啲嘅價格嘅一啲嘅solution 啊。咁所以佢哋開始 Hedgemony 啦。咁 Hedgemony 顧名思義就係要做風險對沖啦，係啦。咁佢呢一個嘅coins，即係佢呢一個嘅基金最主要就係去做呢一樣嘢嘅，係啦。咁而佢嗰個技術唔同嘅位置咧，頭先都講過就係話一般嚟講咧，如果做 news trade 嘅話咧，即係我講啲 layman 啲嘅做法咧，我自己都有試過做 coins，咁多數會用一啲 news aggregator 嘅。如果會用 news trading 嘅話，咁所以Bloomberg 嘅 terminal 都係一個比較 common 用嘅啦。咁所以 that's why 佢哋嗰個 edge 就唔係話要用一啲可能係普遍嘅 news 嘅即係嗰啲新聞嘅匯合器啦。佢哋係會選擇去直接揾一啲好本地嘅即係譬如好簡單，香港你好本地嘅咪 TVB 咯，咪可能係有線新聞，即係 exactly 就係可能係好本地化嘅一啲嘅媒體。咁當然啦，即係你要睇下究竟係邊個本地化嘅媒體，即係可能有時候你唔知啊嘛，可能學星都快啲，有時候可能係其他嘅日報可能係快啲嘅，咁你唔知咁樣嘢。咁所以有時候就係佢哋就而家匯集咗超過3000個追蹤新聞消息來源，係啦，3000個 source， 咁所以 that's why 就佢哋都係好精密地咁樣去做佢哋嗰個嘅 algo 啦，同埋就係 coins 咁樣啦。有冇嘢補充啊 Desmond？
冇啊。
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I just finished the what we just shared about, so we can continue on the next part. So you mentioned about you just scrape local media news, right? But I'm just kind of wondering, like there are like over 3,000 sources, right? So how can you avoid your algo from the noises of the news? Because sometimes there will be fake news. There will be some instance news that there will be delay. So how does your algo determine whether the news is true or fake?
Yeah. So basically, the way it does it is we've curated each single source out of those 3,000 to be handpicked. So when aggregating all of these sources, we didn't just, find random accounts and bundle them together. We worked with a group of news traders from the industry to just handpick the sources that are very reliable and worth having so that we can just remove the friction, that it takes to verify and vet to get into Bloomberg terminal. It's like instead of allowing Bloomberg to do their whole process of vetting, we just personally handpicked, sources that we actually trust and know to be true. so that we don't have to do the check every time, if that makes sense. So how do we avoid fake news and noise? Well, fake news we avoid because these sources we trust and we personally manually handpick them. How do we avoid noise? That's up to the AI sentiment analysis. When any piece of news goes in, it decides if it's noise or signal, and market moving and long or short.
Okay, yeah, so thanks for answering the question. 我頭先問咗個問題啦，就係因為佢哋頭先就話即係好多嘅新聞都係會即時由本地嘅媒體去尋找啦。咁但係我會問有時候你都知會有 fake news 㗎嘛？咁呢一啲佢哋會點樣過濾咧？咁佢頭先就解納咗，就係話佢哋多數就係會話一啲即係 reputation， 即係嗰個信譽比較良好嘅一啲媒體啦，咁就係會shortlist 咗佢哋就即係佢哋多數就傾向就佢哋發出嘅媒體咧，或者發出嘅資訊咧，係多數係傾向正確嘅，係啦。咁所以佢哋就係會用咗呢個方法嚟去避免咗一啲可能係 fake news 或者錯誤嘅資訊咁樣啦。Okay, so let's move on to my upcoming question. So for now, you guys have a thought on Hyperliquid, right? Only one thought, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I saw that I saw some weird data that I also want to understand more. But I know the recent return is great. Like the past month with return show that is almost 150% APR. But I saw the maximum drawdown is at around like 1,327.25%. Like, can you explain why the maximum drawdown would be so huge?
And actually,
Yeah.
I think the numbers is quite confusing because, like, for example, 150%, but if you compared with the deposit was, I remember it was like 600K when it was like in the downturn, but it's like 860K. So I think it's really 150%. So I'm just wondering why the figures turn out to be like that. Yeah.
You cut out for the last like 5 to 10 seconds, Desmond. If you could repeat what you said.
Oh, because like I see on the like a Hyperliquid board, it states that the past month return is like 150%. But actually, when I know about the deposit, it was like a 600K something when it was when it was down like 10 or 15%. So I think the real return should be around 50% something. So is there any like more clarification on the past month results or how it go?
Yeah, so basically the past month return you see on Hyperliquid, that is the return given the position sizing. So, sure, it's like 50% on the portfolio, for example, but it's when it calculates the monthly return, it calculates it with the position size that happens each time. So that's why it's bigger, because you made, a couple 100K on a much smaller position size, not on the entire portfolio size. So that's how Hyperliquid calculates it. Second of all, to address the difference between what you see on the terminal and what you see in the Hyperliquid vault. So it executes the exact same positions. The only difference is the following. On the terminal, we use 75x leverage, okay? And on the Hyperliquid vault, we use 20x leverage. So from the start, every number that you see on the terminal must be divided by 3.75 because we're using 20x leverage instead of 75x leverage. That's the first difference. The second difference is the fees. The fees are not shown on the terminal. And for each position, it's 1.2% fees, okay? To total, like one open and close. So 0.6 and 0.6%. The third part is the fact that the terminal presumes that every trade is using 100% of the capital. In the Hyperliquid vault, this is not the case. We allocate only a fraction of the vault for each trade. So this is why when you scale all of those things down, you arrive at a smaller number. Essentially, it's because of risk management. If we were to use 75x leverage and 100% portfolio allocation per trade, then this wouldn't be good risk management, and bad things could happen quite fast, if that makes sense. But yeah, I hope that addresses the disconnect between what you see on the terminal and what you see in the vault. It's just a matter of scaling the numbers down, the leverage and the portfolio sizing, and removing the fees.
Did you investigate because when you start the vault at around by the end of September, I see that initially it is not in a profiting position, right? So I just wonder is it in a testing phase? Is there a testing phase, or by the end of September your vaults already officially start?
Yeah, so before the vault, it was just trading my own capital on Binance. At the end of September is when we officially released the vault to the public and switched over to Hyperliquid.
I see. So which means that when you start the Hedgemony fund vault on Hyperliquid, so it's originally starting from a negative position, right? So do you recall what kind of why does it happen? Is there any kind of action recall to reveal what kind of trading decision that the algo make it wrong at that
You're
time?
asking why did we have 10 days of a bad period, you mean?
Yeah.
Like
So
instantly the
I
first day.
just wonder
So the
why
first day, why?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically what happened on the first day, and this is extremely rare, I haven't seen it happen before, is Trump announced 100% tariffs on, I think it was furniture. The algorithm opened a short position, and then the news started coming in from a lot of different sources as well. So it ended up opening 7 short positions stacked on top of each other, which used up a majority of the portfolio, if that makes sense. So what ended up happening is the market reacted irrationally, and for some reason the market went up even though Trump had announced the tariffs on furniture, which was an irrational market reaction that nobody could have predicted. And it happened that, we had 7 shorts stacked on top of each other because multiple sources reported this tariff news. So then they all hit the stop loss, and this had a major impact on, the P&L, if that makes sense. So it's a combination of bad luck and the market reacting irrationally, combined with the fact that we had 7 positions stacked on top of each other because multiple sources reported it. And this ended up, they ended up hitting the stop loss, and that's what caused the crash. If it wasn't for that first day, the rest of the days would have been, not so bad. It would have been like -2 or -3% on the portfolio instead of like -11. So that first day was very, very unlucky.
I see. So regarding your the algo that you use for the Hedgemony fund, apart from news, do you also track other parameters for deciding the trade as well, or just purely relying on the news that you mentioned?
Sorry, you're cutting out quite heavily. I'm not sure if it's just me or
I'm just asking. So for the algo that you use for the Hedgemony fund, is it only solely rely on the news, or is there any other parameter that your algo would consider before triggering the trade decision?
Yeah. So right now it only takes into account the news. However, what I want to do for version 2 is also add some technical analysis into the decision making, so that it not only checks the news, but then at the same time it does some TA and decides, okay, is this news actually market moving? Kind of like a double check, if that makes sense.
I see. So when will around the version 2 algorithm will be available, or will it be set as a separate thought? Like for example, like you have the first thought for the original version, and then you just directly revamp the current thoughts.
Yeah, I think it would take me around 1 week to build, and I'll get started on it, tomorrow or Tuesday, I think.
Okay, thank you. I'll just quickly make a short conclusion in Cantonese. 咁頭先Desmond 同我都問咗啲問題咁樣啦。咁我哋最主要嘅問題就係關於即係因為佢哋本身 Hedgemony 佢哋自己都有一個website 啦，都有自己嘅顯示佢哋嗰個嘅trading 嘅表現啦，係啦。咁我哋頭先最主要就係問，即係點解嗰個嘅表現上嗰個數據可能會有啲落差嘅？就係因為嗰個前設唔同啊。咁Hedgemony 佢哋嗰個嘅展示嘅方法咧，係相對地比較樂觀嘅。佢哋即係譬如佢哋喺Hyperliquid 佢哋set 咗可能20倍槓桿咁樣去 trade 啦。咁但係佢哋嗰個Hedgemony 嗰個show 嘅資料咧，就會 show 咗係比較高啲嘅槓桿嘅，就係講緊可能係 around 75倍咗啦。咁而佢哋都係冇 show 到就係話即係可能係因為你做槓桿嘅時候，你會有 funding fee 㗎嘛。咁有時候你可能要俾或者收咁佢哋都撇除咗嗰個 funding fee 嘅計法啦。咁同係啦，即最主要就係有一啲嘅數據上落差咁樣。頭先就係問。咁另外就都有問過，點解嗰個 maximum drawdown 會咁大嘅？係啦，咁都問過嗰個原因就係即係雖然佢哋嗰個嘅 algo 係可以短時間內去分析到邊個，即係嗰個資訊係應該要點樣去做交易嘅策略啦。咁但係有時候就係你可能就係反應得太快，但係你槓桿又太高嘅時候，咁你可能就會喺佢真係真係個市場真係反應之前咧，就好容易會 hit 到 stop loss 嘅，係啦。咁所以 that's why 佢哋嗰陣時候遇咗呢一個比較尷尬嘅情況啦。咁我亦都有問到就係話，咁其實之後嚟緊，因為佢哋都會話有第二個版本嘅Hedgemony 嘅algo 啦。咁佢哋會點樣應對呢個嘅方向咧？咁佢哋可能就會加啲技術性嘅分析啊，即係 TA 啊，或者係啲sentiment analysis 啊，即係各種嘅因素啊，去平衡翻，就係唔好令到佢哋而家個algo 或者個演算法係咁依賴，就係單純就係有單新聞嚟啦，就即刻 trade 啦，即係唔好咁叫做咁 FOMO 啦，係啦，唔好令到個 algo 咁 FOMO 啦，就係咁樣啦，係啦，咁就Desmond 有冇啲咩補充啊？
冇，大概譬如我覺得可以問下啲譬如佢點睇 belief 添啦，因為親身見過佢哋啊嘛，或者係佢覺得成個 belief 嗰啲 ICM 嘅 builders 佢哋分為點樣啊咁樣，係啊。
Okay, so our next question would be so you meet Ben in person, right? In the YC cohort, right?
Yeah, and Lucas, who was at the time chief of staff for Believe, he's now left. Ben was there as well, but the primary guy who got me into all of this was Luca Chu. He was the chief of staff at Believe, but now he's left since like 2 months, I think.
How do you see the current Believe ecosystem right now? And do you also work with other teams that currently deploy the token on Believe right now?
No, I'm working just alone. It's a one-man team, and I'm not working with anybody else who Yeah, I'm not collaborating with any other projects in the Belief ecosystem or anything like that. I have talked to a few people who have launched tokens on Belief, and they're all very happy. I'm also quite happy, and I think the Believe ecosystem is very bullish. I think what they're doing right now with the rebranding and making everything more business oriented, like Y Combinator startup style, is better because they can just pour a lot of the attention on just a select amount of projects, which is good.
I see. So apart from the Belief ecosystem grants, right? So did they also provide you any support during the launch of your project on Belief ecosystem?
Yeah, so they launched for me. They bought me 50% of the token supply, and now that's locked across 25% for 1 year, and then the other 25% across 3 years after that unlocks. So yeah, they helped me launch, bought tokens for me, the 50% unlocked it, and supported me with marketing here and there after on major announcements and such.
I see. So we also recently know that you also joined ICM.1 as one of the incubatee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you see the difference between Belief ecosystem and also ICM.1 to help with the incubation part? So what's the difference between them?
Honestly, well, Believe is obviously bigger. They're always going to be the backbone. ICM.run, it's there's, a first collaboration with the people in the industry who are doing ICM. They're one of the people who are helping lead ICM. So it's good to have exposure in their network as well and, get to talk about the project, collaborate. And we're still figuring, everything out and how it all works, etc. But they're very good at what they do, and they're very prominent in the ICM space, so it's good to be close by them.
I see, but some of the project that needs to also give their project token to ICM.1 as their treasury, right? So does Hedgemony also need to do that?
Yeah, Hedgemony already did that like 2 weeks ago. I think we're number one for the holdings in their treasury, if I'm not mistaken. I think let me see. I'm pretty sure Hedgemony is number one for the amount of tokens donated. Here, let me see.
So meanwhile, you're checking the balance. So I'm just kind of curious. Would there be some duplication in between the support? For example, like you mentioned that Belief ecosystem already helped you with the token launch, and also they also invest on the token supply and lock the token, and also doing marketing for it. So I just wonder, is there any value add from ICM.1 at the moment?
Here, so I found it. Yeah, so we donated 0.3% of the supply to ICM. 0.3% is, what is that right now? Let me see. It's around $20,000. I'm pretty sure we're the biggest to donate in their treasury. What value are they providing right now? So we announced the partnership that ICM token holders or NFT holders will be able to gain access to the bot at a discount. So not just holding 0.5% of Hedgemony, but holding the equivalent at ICM and then also some Hedgemony. We're still figuring that out, seeing how ICM holders can benefit and access the algorithm if they hold, enough ICM, but also at the same time being involved in Hedgemony. So we're still figuring out that part, and once details for that are figured out, then after that, it's they're going to be able to help by bringing in capitals for the vault to increase the TVL.
I see. So I will just quickly translate into Chinese and then get back to you very soon. So yeah. 咁頭先都有問一啲關於可能再深入啲嘅問題，關於因為呢一個 AMA 雖然我哋第3個 AMA 啦，咁亦都係我哋第一個 AMA 同Believe 真係 Believe 生態項目嘅創辦人去傾啦。咁頭先有傾過就係關於生態上嘅支援啊，係因為其實都重要嘅對於一個即係初創或者係創喺個生態上面創業嘅人，如果生態嘅支援唔好咧，其實就都好難繼續行落去嘅。咁頭先都講過咧，就係因為即係阿 Shrimper 啦，咁佢都係喺 YC 度出身啦，咁 YC 出身咁，然之後又見過 Believe 生態嘅團隊啦，即係 in real life 啦，即係好似同我哋 ticker 一樣啦，show 下先係啦 ，IRL 係啦，咁啊唔知咩嚟嘅可以望下啦，咁啊其實都係純粹一個我哋嘅 community token 咁樣啦，係啦，咁啊有興趣望下咁樣係啦，咁係啦，即係佢哋 in real life 見過啦，咁所以都分享過嘅就係嚟緊 Believe 個 direction 就傾向就係想做到Web3 版嘅 YC 咯，揀呢個係啦，咁嗰個即係基本上同 Desmond 之前講Believe 想做嘅嘢其實都係差唔多嗰個 vision 嚟講係啦，咁講先，實際上咁 Believe 係有做啲乜嘢去幫到 Hedgemony 咧？就係一開始就係佢哋都有做一啲 early investment 嘅，即係譬如佢哋會買一部分嘅代幣啦。咁佢頭先都講 around 係15% 咁樣係去買一個代幣，然之後就1/4就鎖1年，另外嗰1/4就鎖3年啦。咁另外嗰2/4有冇鎖到咧？定係點樣咧？佢冇透露到。咁應該我估都係即時係 available 咁樣啦。咁亦都有一啲 marketing 嘅 support 啦，咁大家都知道最近 Believe App 都開始做一啲 marketing 咁樣啦，咁所以即係開始放多啲resources 嚟去做一個 marketing，咁所以變相就係啦，即係同我哋而家 so far 得到嘅資訊都係 align 嘅啦。咁而ICM.run 咧就係即係之前我都有講過，就係話佢係而家係 focus 係做一啲 ICM 項目嘅孵化器喎咁樣。咁Hedgemony 喺早期嘅時候都唔係早期，即係2個禮拜前啦。咁就係啦，即係叫做捐咗佢0.3% 嘅 total supply 啦，即係代幣總供應量啦。咁而家市值就 around 2萬蚊美金係啦。咁就佢哋對於ICM.run， 即係因為 ICM.run 佢哋本身都有自己代幣啊嘛，即係佢有隻叫 ICM 嘅代幣係啦。咁所以變相就有一啲嘅 privilege，即係有啲好處就係如果佢係Hedgemony 嘅持有者或者係 ICM 代幣嘅持有者，即係 ICM 個 ticker 係啦，唔好誤會咗係 ICM ticker 係啦，唔係任何 ICM project 嘅代幣係啦 ，ICM ticker 嘅持有者咧，咁就會可以有一啲嘅着數咯，即係可能係當有一啲嘅新嘅產品嘅功能嘅時候，咁我哋可以率先試，或者係當有一啲嘅新產品可能啱啱出嘅時候，可能會有 discount 咁樣可以用咁樣咯，係啦，咁但係都要持有一定嘅代幣。頭先佢講過就係話如果係 Hedgemony 嘅 OG 嘅話咧，就如果你持有0.5% 就可以free 咯。咁但係我諗而家對於而家入場價格嚟講，我諗個 barrier 都係比較高嘅係啦。咁我諗即係純粹俾大家知道啦，即係作為代幣。
呢度有人有啊，呢度有人有啊。
我 OK 知係啦，即係應該係啱啱講嘢嗰個人啦。
唔係，有個喺下低。
OK 有大戶嘅 OK 好 OK 咁
Yeah, actually,
OK.
I have some more questions for For example, you have mentioned that does the token holder have access to only Hyperliquid, or they can use their own exchange account like Binance or Bybit to use the algorithm or do some customized settings, or maybe like the default setting is like 75%, but can we choose like 50% or choose our default, customized settings for the algorithm?
Yeah, so right now the token holder is it's only access directly for the Hyperliquid vault and not anybody else's exchanges. Number one, Not just because it's an extra feature to add. It takes time to add all the integrations or package, the signals in a WebSocket to be able to connect to any exchange. But second of all, it's hard. It's not ideal because we want to have everything on Hyperliquid, all the capital. We want all the capital to be there to be able to showcase, hey, look at how much capital we have here. If it's across different exchanges and different accounts, it's hard to bring it all in the same place, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's really cool. I also have another question. Is there any way you can think of to like have some collaboration between Hedgemony and our community? Because like I think our target audience is mainly from Chinese or like Cantonese from Hong Kong. So I think maybe the audience is not overlapped, and maybe they are willing to like try out some new stuff to see if the news trading algorithm really works. So are you willing to like give a try to see how we can collab? Maybe give some perks to our token holders or to see or some discount for using the algorithm. So maybe we can also do some like article for introductory to see how to use the algo, because I know that maybe it's a bit difficult for a newcomer to understand how to use the Telegram board or how to access to the Hyperliquid forward. So yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
So you're saying some type of like collaboration or easier access to the lower like fees or something, or any type of collaboration. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'd be open to that. We can discuss privately after this AMA.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
仲有冇其他問題啊 ？Desmond 定係我哋 leave the stage 俾睇下有冇其他觀眾都有啲問題。If you have any question from the floor, feel free to raise it out, or you can just unmute yourself and ask, or you can just raise your hand first. 有冇人有問題想問？即係藉住呢個機會可以問一問Shrimper 係啦，即係Hedgemony 嘅創辦人係啦。有冇手睇下先？大家都冇 unmute。咁我 assume 應該，有啊 ，Crypto Dreams Carson, feel free to go.
Yeah, hi, Shrimper. I'm Carson. I wanted to ask the incident that 2 days ago, that the big crash across the entire crypto, and then some people like actually like got liquidated, like huge thing, but then Hedgemony get to not lost to that, but gain a great profit of like $30,000 on this like kind of like
300,000.
on event. Like, can you first thing I want to ask, like, can you explain a little bit like what exactly happened and what makes you did this like amazing thing? And second thing, what do you think of like Hyperliquid and or other DAX or other SACs, that why do you choose Hyperliquid out of others?
So Hyperliquid I chose because it's decentralized and that everybody can view all the trades and they can see, it does work and it is making profit and it's fully verifiable on chain. The second thing is, here's what's happened Friday. Friday, tariffs were announced. There were all the longs liquidated. It was the biggest liquidation in crypto history ever. Why the algorithm profited? Because the algorithm is based on news trading. So regardless, if it's good news, bad news, it can open both long or short positions. It's supposed to always benefit in any type of situation, whether it's good or bad. So meanwhile, while people had longs set up in place, for example, or were holding their bags, they lost money because the market crashed. The algorithm won money because it opened short positions on the news. When the news about China came, it opened a lot of short positions and markets started crashing, and that's why it made money, because it was receptive to the news, and it opened positions the second bad news came out. So meanwhile, while everybody was away and not paying attention and seeing only like 10 minutes later, and only then pulling their bags out. Hedgemony had already, opened short positions and was just riding the cascade, basically. So yeah.
係啦，頭先Carson 都問咗個好嘅問題啦，就係點解可以喺呢一種極端行情都仍然可以有錢賺咧？咁即係明明呢個大市跌緊㗎嘛，咁就係頭先都有略略提及過嘅，就係因為我哋都係用即係佢哋嗰個 Hedgemony 嗰個嘅 flow 都係用即係新聞係即時交易啦，咁所以就係喺呢個新聞開始咗，然之後即係個市場未反應得切嘅時候，咁佢已經開有一個開空嘅呢一個嘅倉位，咁所以變相就可以喺短時間內就做到呢一個咁大嘅盈利啦，係啦，咁就頭先Shrimper 都解答咗Carson 嘅問題啦。One more question from me. So you know Drift, right? Another DEX on Solana chain, right? Shrimp.
Which one?
Drift.
No.
Oh, actually, Drift is also another major perp DEX on Solana chain. I just want to ask, like why choose Hyperliquid? But I think you answered part of the questions. So if you don't know Drift, then just forget about it. It's just another perp DEX on Solana, which can also allow hedge fund to build their thoughts on their perp DEX. Yeah, that's it. 其他人仲有冇嘢問？Is there any question from others at the moment? Oh, Dijan talk.
Hi, Shrimper. I have two questions basically. I'm not quite sure if you have covered them as already because I've disconnected for 3 minutes previously, but I would just ask them. The first question is, I know there's a V2 version coming shortly. Can you explain more about what is the difference between V2 and V1 and how could it enhance the profitability of the whole strategy? And the second question is like the only market that you are trading currently is Solana. Do you have any plan to expand into other markets? And did you backtest other coins using the same model that you have already built currently?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. So for version 2, we want to change a few things. We want to add fluid memory so that when anything happens, it can always have the contextual memory. So it knows what happened 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and how the story has evolved with each situation, as opposed to each piece of information being new information without context. That's number one. Number two, upgrading the LLMs. There have been a lot of advancements in the last 6 months with LLMs that I want to incorporate. Number three, we want to add dynamic stop losses and dynamic hold times and dynamic portfolio sizing, right? For some position, the ideal hold time may be 30 minutes, but for another, it may be, 1 or 2 minutes. Same thing with stop losses, and same thing with dynamic portfolio sizing. For example, on a piece of news like Friday, imagine we use 50% of the portfolio, in the position, because we're so sure that the market's going to react that way, and we're so sure that it's huge news, things like that. And also, lastly, we want to add coin-specific trading, because sometimes there's pieces of news that come out like, Binance gets hacked, and they have a coin, BNB. So BNB goes down, but Solana doesn't go down, So for example, in cases like that, we could short BNB and make a profit from there. So that's the other thing that I want to add. So all these things in combination should enhance the algorithm and take it really to a whole different new level.
Yeah. So thanks for does that answer question? Dijan talk?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, great. 咁頭先 DJ Talk 都問咗一個好好嘅問題嘅，就係即係關於嚟緊佢哋 version 2，因為頭先我都冇問得好深入啊。咁啊頭先 DJ Talk 都問多一次啦，係啦。咁就嚟緊其實佢哋第二個版本嘅 hedge fund 嘅 algo 有咩唔同咧？咁佢哋第一啦就會加一個叫做fluid memory 啦，即係佢哋就會做，因為佢哋本身個 algo 咧嚴格上嚟講咧就係會有一個 layer 係經大型語言模型嘅，即係大家經常聽嘅，即係可能係咩 ChatGPT 啊，其實佢哋就係一個大型語言模型。咁如無意外，佢哋應該係do you mind sharing which LMs that you're using right now for your algo in the upcoming version 2?
Well, they're gonna be fine-tuned LLMs from OpenAI.
From OpenAI, OK。咁頭先係啦，即係釐清咗啦。咁佢哋用大型語言模型啦，咁佢哋就會即係會調節一個專屬模型。咁但係當然啦，佢個底層嘅模型就會用翻OpenAI 嘅係啦。咁而呢一個模型就係幫佢去最主要就係分析新聞啦，然之後就係佢哋要點樣去做即係要 trade 呢個 pair， 即係頭先我講就話譬如可能有啲新聞，咁佢未必係好 macro 啊嘛，有時候可能有啲新聞，譬如好簡單嘅就係可能係講緊Binance 有流動性問題，即係假設即係唔係真嘅呢個，咁本身因為幣安多隻幣啊嘛，咪叫 BNB，咁佢哋就會係如果見有啲消息係對於嗰間交易所不利，而嗰間交易所有佢自己嘅隻幣 BNB，咁佢就可以開空嚟去做一個嘅對沖咯，係啦，就係咁樣。咁而同一時間就係佢哋喺嗰個嘅take profit 同埋 stop loss 上面都會有一個嘅策略性嘅調整啦，即係可能係佢哋會做一啲嘅多元嘅點講咧，多元嘅portfolio 嘅重組啊，即係基本上就係佢哋會做好咗就係關於佢哋嗰個嘅止損同埋止盈啦，係啦，咁了解，同埋就係究竟佢哋嗰個資金嚟講，究竟應該係點樣去逐步調整嚟去令到佢哋個資金對於即係簡嚟講，對於嗰個風險嚟講就係會係相對嚟講比較安全啦，係啦，就係大致上係咁樣咯，係啦，咁啊睇下仲有冇其他問題啦，係啦。Is there any questions from the floor? So let me see. Okay, so I assume of you muting, then I assume of the question has been resolved. And yes, coming to the end, thanks Shemper for coming up to this AMA because we're quite new to the, I think our community just started for around like 2 to 3 weeks. And this basically the first Chinese-based community, which is real to be honest. Like because like you see, I have to translate into Cantonese and Chinese to let the community understand. So yeah, that's why we are all here to also eager to learn more about the ICM ecosystem and also would like to see how our community could also support different ICM projects. So for now, we're actually open for different projects to come up to our space or like TG community to also directly communicate with our community members. Yeah, so I hope like this space also help you to reach out more audience within our community, but at the same time, our community member can also know more about project and then to see how we can also support you as a whole. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. So thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate everybody who is here listening. I appreciate everybody who's holding the token Hedgemony. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, do let me know.
OK，咁頭先 Shrimper 最後都話啦，即係多謝大家今日參與啦，亦都多謝如果有持有 Hedgemony 嘅代幣嘅持有者係啦。咁如果有啲咩問題啊，或者有啲咩想問啊，你都可以直接喺個群組度tag 翻佢去問都可以嘅，即係我哋呢度都係透明度比較高啦，係啦。咁我哋今日個 AMA 咧係啦，今日都有少少嘢唔好意思，因為佢本身 Shrimper 係同我哋嗰個嘅時間區域咧係有啲唔同嘅，即係 exactly 係我哋係快過佢哋12個鐘，咁所以而家阿 Shrimper 係中午時間啦，咁我哋就凌晨時間啦。咁啊，今日都辛苦晒大家啦，係啦 ，join 我哋呢個 AMA 咁樣。咁我睇下個錄音係咪即係我哋都有錄咗 咗成個 AMA， 咁睇下個錄音 O 唔 OK 啦，希望都應該錄到啦，係啦，咁然之後我就會係啦，睇下點樣 send 翻出嚟，或者係點樣俾可能係其他 teammate 去做一個嘅總結咁樣啦。係啦 ，anyway，so thanks for joining for the AMA today and see all of you next time。Yeah， 我哋下次再見啦，拜拜。
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.